The story of the Mughals begins not in the shimmering plains of India, but far to the north, amidst the harsh, windswept steppes of Central Asia. It begins with a young prince named Zahir-ud-Din Muhammad, better known to history as Babur, meaning tiger. A direct descendant of two of the world's most formidable conquerors, Timur the Lame on his father's side and Genghis Khan on his mother's. His early life was a relentless struggle for survival and power, a whirlwind of swift victories and crushing defeats. Driven from Central Asia, his gaze turned south towards the fabled wealth of Hindustan. The decisive moment arrived on the dusty fields of Panipat in April 1526. His artillery and matchlock firearms were a terrifying novelty to the Lodi forces. The thunderous roar of Babur's cannons spooked the Lodi elephants, which turned and trampled their own men in a panic-stricken frenzy. Upon Babur's death in 1530, the immense task of securing this fledgling empire fell to his eldest son, Humayun. He inherited a kingdom that was far from stable, surrounded by enemies and beset by the ambitions of his own half-brothers. The most formidable of these was Sher Shah Suri, a brilliant and ambitious Afghan chieftain from Bihar. In a series of decisive battles, Sher Shah Suri's superior tactics completely outmaneuvered and routed Humayun's forces. He was forced into a long and humiliating exile, wandering through the harsh deserts of Sindh and Rajasthan. With Persian support, Humayun began the arduous process of rebuilding his power. In 1555, he led his new army back into India and triumphantly reclaimed the throne of Delhi. Just months later, he tumbled down a flight of stone stairs in his library and died, leaving his vast empire to his 13-year-old son, Akbar. The throne that the young Akbar inherited in 1556 was precarious at best, yet this teenage emperor would prove to be one of the most remarkable rulers in world history. Through a series of masterful military campaigns, he brought Gujarat, Bengal, Rajasthan, Kashmir, and much of the Deccan under Mughal dominion. He established the Ibadat Khana, or House of Worship, where he invited scholars from Islam, Hinduism, Christianity, Jainism, and Zoroastrianism to engage in open debate. Through strategic marriages and by granting high positions to Rajput warriors, he transformed potential enemies into loyal allies. His administrative reforms created a stable and efficient bureaucracy that would serve the empire for a century. Akbar the Great had transformed his father's fragile inheritance into a powerful, prosperous, and remarkably tolerant empire. When Akbar died in 1605, the throne passed to his son Jahangir, meaning conqueror of the world. Where his father had been a man of grand political vision, Jahangir was a connoisseur and patron of the arts. The Mughal painting workshop flourished magnificently under his patronage, producing single-page compositions of extraordinary detail and naturalism. Much of the day-to-day business of the state was managed by his intelligent and formidable wife, Nur Jahan, who became the de facto ruler of the empire. Her name was struck on coins alongside Jahangir's, and she issued imperial orders under her own seal. It was during his reign that the first significant contacts with the English occurred, as Sir Thomas Roe sought trading concessions for the East India Company. For now, the empire was secure, its coffers full, and its culture at a dazzling zenith. Following a ruthless war of succession, Prince Khurram ascended the throne as Shah Jahan, or King of the World. If Jahangir was the great connoisseur, Shah Jahan was the ultimate architect. His first major project was Shah Jahanabad, now Old Delhi, with the magnificent Red Fort at its heart. When his beloved wife Mumtaz Mahal died during childbirth in 1631, a devastated Shah Jahan resolved to build her a tomb without equal in the world. The result was the Taj Mahal, a poem in stone, a symbol of eternal love that has become the enduring icon of India itself. For over 2 decades, more than 20,000 artisans, craftsmen, and laborers toiled, working with shimmering white marble inlaid with semi-precious stones. The immense sums lavished on these projects placed a severe strain on the imperial treasury, sowing the seeds of financial troubles for his successor. After imprisoning his ailing father, Aurangzeb ascended the throne in 1658. Where Akbar was a syncretist and Shah Jahan a builder, Aurangzeb was a devout, orthodox Sunni Muslim. He systematically reversed the tolerant policies that had been the bedrock of Mughal stability, reimposing the jizya tax and discouraging the lavish arts. For the last 26 years of his life, he waged a relentless war in the Deccan, expanding the empire to its greatest ever geographical extent. While militarily successful against the Sultanates, he faced the most frustrating resistance from the rising power of the Marathas under Shivaji. By his death in 1707 at age 88, Aurangzeb left behind a vast but dangerously overstretched and deeply fractured empire. His piety had alienated millions, his ambition had bankrupted the state, creating the perfect storm for rapid decline. Aurangzeb's successors, the lesser Mughals, lacked the vision and energy of their ancestors, becoming puppets of manipulative nobles. As the emperor's grip weakened, provincial governors established their own hereditary dynasties, ruling as independent kings in all but name. In 1739, the Persian emperor Nader Shah, sensing Mughal weakness, swept into India with a powerful modern army. After crushing the Mughals at Karnal, he subjected Delhi to a horrific sack, taking unimaginable booty including the Peacock Throne and Koh-i-Noor Diamond. The Marathas emerged as the most formidable new power, their swift cavalry armies swarming across central and northern India. Meanwhile, the British East India Company was quietly expanding from a few coastal trading posts, transforming into a formidable political force. The final occupant of the Mughal throne was Bahadur Shah Zafar, a gentle, melancholic poet and Sufi mystic who presided over a faint echo of past glories. His world was one of poetry symposiums and quiet devotion, reigning over a city, not an empire, under the watchful eye of the British resident. In 1857, sepoys rose in rebellion and proclaimed the hesitant Zafar as Emperor of Hindustan. For a brief moment, the Mughal banner flew over Delhi once more. The British response was swift and brutal. After recapturing Delhi, they executed Zafar's sons and exiled the old emperor to Burma. Zafar died in Rangoon in 1862, a lonely prisoner buried in an unmarked grave. With his death, the flame of the Mughal dynasty was finally extinguished. The British crown took direct control, and a new empire began, built upon the ashes of the old.